Stanley, the one sheep, has a very tilted neck. And we initially suspected that could have been an injury from the accident, but we're not entirely sure.
Reach over you. You hear a crack?
Yeah.
There's another one. Another one, you hear it?
Yep.
T1 again. Gonna bring it around. Once. Okay. So it's not just bent in one direction, it's also twisted. Can you see the whole turn like a corkscrew? I just made a new online course called How to Massage Your Own Dog. So I finally made it to Waynesville, North Carolina. I'm at Friendly Fields Farms with Alexa and Sharon, and they own this amazing nonprofit farm. It's a rescue farm. Tell us about it. How long have you been doing this?
We've been operating Friendly Fields Farm for about 2.5 years. We, in that time, have been able to rescue and rehabilitate a little over 100 farm animals.
Wow.
So we have a focus on animals that are like injured, sick, abused, neglected, or at risk of slaughter. So we've got potbelly pigs, goats, sheep, chickens, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So primarily we don't have a focus on adoption. We mainly focus on finding high-risk animals, bringing them here to safety, and then using their stories to provide education on animal welfare issues.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much for your service.
Well, we're not like a traditional, we're not a petting zoo.
Okay.
So we do educational tours. Basically, we have a tour schedule. We've not really done a ton with events, but, I suppose we could.
Okay. It's okay. I don't have a birthday party coming up if you were thinking of me. But people can come and do tours and see what you're doing and learn about the animals, correct?
Yep.
Now, what do you do when you have one that's really in bad medical need? Do you have veterinarians that you can rely on that come through and support you?
Yep, we have locally, we have about 3 vets we work with. We have an avian specialty vet, we have a farm animal specialty vet, and we have like a cat and dog vet. And then we also will drive about 2 hours to go to the University of Tennessee, which is sort of a large animal hospital where they've got everything. They've got, like neurologists and all sorts of specialty. So that's really nice.
Now, if people wanted to chip in and donate or be a part of supporting your mission, what are ways they can do that? Is there something on your website that you could point us to? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have a donate page on our website that lines up all the different platforms that you can donate on. We also offer like a sponsor an animal program. So if you kind of hear an animal story that you're really connected to, you can sponsor that specific animal. And then if you happen to live in Waynesville, North Carolina, we'd love to have you come and volunteer.
Awesome. So you do look for volunteers from time to time.
Yeah.
So I'm here as a volunteer. Tell us how you met me and what was the main goal of me coming here today?
Yeah, so we posted a video on our Instagram of one of our new rescued animals, Stanley. He's an adorable little sheep, and the internet went crazy.
Stanley the sheep.
Everybody loved it.
He's getting hundreds of thousands of views from all over the world for little Stanley. He is cute. I haven't met him yet. I'm about to go meet him now.
Yes. Stanley and his friend Sonny, who's another sheep, were tied together in the back of a pickup truck when the driver of the truck became involved in a hit and run. So after the accident, the driver of the truck just ditched his car in the woods, left, and it took the authorities more than 12 hours to find the sheep. So during that time, Stanley and Sonny were like tied up. They were injured from the crash. They were super duper dehydrated and starving. And then animal control found them, brought them in, and then brought them to us.
you guys, yeah.
Yep. So.
And then you saw immediate veterinarian care, right?
Yep.
And did they find any bad injuries or mostly dehydrated and shock?
Yeah, dehydration and shock were the main concerns. And then Stanley, the one sheep, has a very tilted neck. And we initially suspected that could have been an injury from the accident, but we're not entirely sure. They didn't find any broken bones or anything, like that. We think it's all soft tissue.
Okay, so the vet also said that it might have been from earlier in Stanley's life.
Yep.
That it didn't happen in the actual accident.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm an animal chiropractor, and I'm going to take a look at Stanley today. If it's something that's been there Stanley's whole life, I'm not going to forcefully break it into position because that's insane, and that's not something that I would ever do. It's the same with the dog's tail. If a dog's tail just got bent, I can manipulate it right back into position. It's easy. But if the tail's been that way for 9 years, for example, it would be literally fracturing a bone for my sake of wanting to see it straight. So that's something I never do. But what I will do is I'll do a lot of massage. I'll do a lot of soft tissue around Stanley's neck, lower neck, shoulders, chest, see what we can find, see if there's any areas that feel like they're just misaligned, and then I would gently apply a gentle chiropractic adjustment if necessary. If that's what it needs the most, we might see some straightening. Chances are the vets really know their stuff. And not chances that they know their stuff, but chances their diagnosis is spot on is what I meant. And saying that his neck might be stuck that way for a portion of his life already. And one of the reasons that you can tell that as a quick assessment is if you touch a neck that's bent and they wince away, then that means that's a fresh acute injury. But if you can go like this and work into the neck and over, and they're like, oh, this is my life, then it's probably been that way for a long time and it didn't happen in the car accident. And that's a neck that you don't want to just forcefully straighten because that's abusive. We're never going to abuse an animal, especially in a rescue place. All right, so let's take a look.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Now, so this is where you help me, okay? So you're going to stay in there. So I'm going to see if it straightens. I heard you. Okay. So here I am so sheep have 7 bones in their neck, 13 thoracic, and 6 lumbars. Now there are variances where sometimes someone will say, well, I found a sheep with 6, or I found a sheep with 5 bones in their neck. But that's not really, that would be an anomaly, like a very rare exception. Mammals have 7 bones in their neck. The big exceptions are manatees have, what do manatees have? I think manatees have 6. The two-toed sloth has 5 to 6 cervical bones, and the 3-toed sloth has 9 cervical bones. But almost every other mammal has 7. And I can count right now, I'm up at the pole. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stanley has 7. You're a normal guy. What do you think of that? Can I work on you a little bit more? Okay, I'm going to first massage this. So I want to work into these muscles. In a little bit, he might start to feel that he likes this. So I'm massaging that neck and bringing the head over. There, it just clicked. Did you hear that one? Okay. Okay. A lot of times, even though the apex or the top of the rainbow is right here in the middle of the cervicals, it's C4, C5, C3, C4, C5, I want to come lower into this. In the horse, we call this like the ugly area, where I'm under the scapula and I'm all the way down at T1 even. And I'm going to do a little adjustment there because that could open things up. And it's... Got it. All right. So I adjusted T1 actually. And I'm going to keep working. So it's kind of fun. He's letting me work. I do want to adjust the pole or the neck, but I got to feel what that atlas is doing first. And you can come maybe shoot from the top now. Okay. Let's pick the head up. Okay. Got it. And once there is room to adjust them, so I'm gonna adjust now. Okay, we bring the head a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of a tapping adjustment, more lighter stuff. So here's T1 again. Gonna bring it around. Doing the atlas. So it's interesting, it's not just bent, it's twisted. So bent would just be on a kind of a XY plane, but it's twisted and bent. Like you roll up a towel and snap someone. So it's not just bent in one direction, it's also twisted. Can you see the whole turn like a corkscrew? So if I was gonna straighten it, I'd bend it this way. I'd have to take the rotation out and the lateral flexion. Sorry, Stanley. Not good to have shots going off right now. Let's do the atlas again. So I'm going to do a little. Right now we're dealing with gunshots, right? Someone's doing some target practice. Let's do your atlas. I'm going to do an occiput adjustment. Sorry, boo-boo. Now I'm going to have you hold around here. I'm going to do kind of a pull, okay? Mm-hmm. So do you mind if I put my foot on your leg? You pull back.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep going. And now hold. That's traction. Okay, a little more and hold. Okay, I'm going to do a little pull now. It's kind of a ring dinger. You hold. Tell me when you're ready. Pull back.
Okay.
You hear that little pop?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's let him walk around for a minute. Still likes that band position, right?
Interesting on his x-rays, like you can see his spine is really curved, but his like trachea is straight.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. He's got like an interesting mix.
I really think he has kind of a spinal scoliosis that he was born with. First of all, he's got no pain. Like I can touch any of these areas.
Yep.
And he's not wincing. And now I'm pushing pretty hard. And Sonny really loves him, right? Wasn't that cool when we were doing the long stretch thing?
Yeah.
Sonny was like, please don't hurt him, this little Stanley. It's funny because Sonny's tiny too.
Yep.
Oh, see, he does a little shakeout. That's good. All right, I'm going to just check the last couple of little pieces, okay? I just want to go down his back and make sure I didn't miss anything in his thoracics. That won't have anything to do with his neck, but I just want to see what his lower back and neck look like. So if you could bring him or just stabilize him for a quick second.
Yeah. It's okay.
I don't want to corner him. But he knows you a lot better than me. So one good thing is, Here, look up at me for a second. So one good thing is if Stanley isn't in pain, he's going to live his whole life this way. This is the same way that if a dog loses a leg, we feel horrible because we're like, oh my God, the dog lost a leg. It has 3 legs. But the dog can be very happy soon. Once it learns how to run on 3 legs, it doesn't mourn the loss and grieve the loss of that last leg the rest of their lives like we might for our dog. And I think I agree with the vet. I think Stanley has had a deformity of the neck and the cervical spine for probably its whole life. And I don't think he's in pain over it. I did some good stuff. I adjusted T1. I adjusted up and down the spine. She's ready for us, so let's go. So you leave him right there, and I'm gonna just adjust. I'm sorry to reach over you. You hear a crack?
Yeah.
There's another one. Another one, you hear it?
Yep.
Another one, you hear that one? You can hear them, right?
Yeah, that one was loud.
Okay. Good job. Let's try the neck one more time. You have them in a good spot, okay? I want to definitely get this lower though. There it goes. You hear it?
Yeah.
That was so loud. When I was studying the x-ray of Stanley, I saw that that was a spot that was bothering me, was the lower ones. Okay. I think that's it for today, people. So thank you for watching. Keep loving Stanley. Leave him a comment. He reads all his comments. And let's see how he does. He's got a good life. The main thing is he's with people that love him and take great care of him. And he has a great team. And Alexa and Sharon are like amazing. So just send a comment. Let's root for him. I adjusted occiput C1. We did a long extension, kind of a ring dinger if you watch my other channel. And we were pulling hard, weren't we?
Yeah.
You were
a lot
pulling
of tension there.
Yeah, and we were going, and we straightened the whole neck as we pulled out. I just went back in and I did T1 again, where I went in deep, and you heard those big cracks.
Yeah.
We came down the back, and I got T2, T5, T8. I was through the withers area. I went through the thoracic, so the thoracolumbar junction, and it went and checked all 6 lumbars and got L5 and L6 to go also. So, and his sacrum looked pretty good, but I did do a light adjustment on sacral-base posterior right to counteract what was going up top diagonally. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, the last thing we have to do is give them chiropractic adjustments. So we have Sharon here. And Sharon, your neck is a little tight, not as tight as Stanley's. Stanley wins the neck competition. So I'm going to reach your head over this way. Let it fall. Do you hear pop?
Yes.
And let it drop this way. A little more. Got it. How's that?
Very good.
And Alexa certainly gets tight in the neck too. Do you feel how this side's even worse?
Yeah.
All right, so first I'm going to do this to open it up. Tilt your head over. Got it. That was really loud.
It was loud.
Drop your head this way. Whoa.
I'm here with our rescued sheep, Stanley, and it has been just about 2 weeks since Dr. Doug came to give Stanley the sheep a chiropractic adjustment, and the improvement that we have seen in Stanley since that time is unbelievable. When we first took Stanley to our local university vet hospital for his bent neck, they told us that it was likely permanent, had been there a long time, and there was probably nothing we would ever be able to do to fix it or even improve it. Now, Stanley essentially looks like a normal sheep. His neck is much more straight. He can lift his head up more and turn his head freely to the side. And it's been a complete 180 all within the last 2 weeks. We're so grateful to Dr. Doug for coming all the way to North Carolina to see Stanley and to give him an adjustment, because now Stanley is able to live his life like a normal sheep, and his range of movement is just, it's increased so much. It's really, really incredible. Stanley, the one sheep, has a very tilted neck. And we initially suspected that could have been an injury from the accident, but we're not entirely sure.
Reach over you. You hear a crack?
Yeah.
There's another one.